On June 13th, 2025, Israel initiated Operation Rising Lion, a military preemptive campaign that saw Iran's nuclear and military sites targeted by US-made military equipment. How this came about was through Israeli intelligence, most notably the Mossad, which launched suicide drones plus sophisticated attack technologies on vehicles from secret bases inside of Iran against radars and air defense systems, which then enabled Israel to launch missiles. Mossad agents from within Iran deployed systems that took out Iran's air defense, which allowed Israel to fire air-to-surface missiles from their jets, which left unharmed due to Iran's depleted air defense. Strikes were then launched against Iran's capital, Tehran, as well as nuclear enrichment sites, ballistic missile launchers, and other critical facilities and bases, which pose a threat to strategic targets within Israel. Additionally, Commander-in-Chief of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard, Major General Hussein Salami, was killed, as well as General Gholam Ali Rashid, plus nuclear scientists and several civilians, seeing as Israel do what they do best in bombing apartment buildings and killing children. Doing so with the full knowledge and moral plus indirect military support of the Trump administration. Trump was fooled by Benjamin Netanyahu, the Israeli Prime Minister, into thinking Iran was determined to get nuclear weapons, a lie that Bibi has told since the 90s. So Trump gave Israel the green light to bomb Iran. Then his Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, made a statement calling on Iran not to retaliate against American interests in the region, while simultaneously having American plus British drones, fighter jets, and air defense systems that are ready to defend Israel against any potential retaliatory strikes. Trump believed Operation Rising Lion would force Iran back to the negotiating table, seeing as talks were not going his way, but it could result in a bigger regional upheavement than anything before it. Bush invaded Iraq, then killed Saddam, which led to the Middle East destabilization. Obama invaded Libya, then killed Gaddafi, which led to the North Africa destabilization, the migrant invasion of Europe, and the rise of ISIS, both undertaken for Israeli interests. Now it's Iran's turn under Trump. On 13th June 2025, Iran launched Operation True Promise, a military retaliatory campaign against strategic positions within Israel, carried out by the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Aerospace Force. This attack was mere hours apart from Operation Rising Lion. The same Operation Rising Lion that Trump knew about, helped facilitate, and praised. Operation True Promise was a retaliation to Operation Rising Lion, which was conducted on the lie that Iran was desperate to acquire nukes, a lie that stretches back to the 90s and is hypocritical, seeing as Israel have nukes themselves. After Operation Rising Lion, Western countries and leaders called on Iran to exercise restraint, but they instead retaliated with a crushing response.
Life will become bitter for them, without doubt. They cannot think that they've hit us and it's over. No, they started this, and now they've launched a war. We will not let them get away with this large-scale crime. The forces of the Islamic Republic will deliver huge blows to the Zionist regime.
Yaniv, get ready to pull it off the stick. Get off the sticks. All right, let's go. Time to go. Okay. Guys, come on.
Okay.
Iran launched obsolete ballistic missiles plus drones directly at Tel Aviv, bombarding the Israeli anti-missile system with a relentless barrage of lesser quality missiles in order to exhaust the system, most of which were taken down by Israeli defense. Then, at a later stage, fired hypersonic missiles at Israeli strategic and sensitive locations, most of which met their target. Tel Aviv was on fire from hypersonic Iran-made missiles, while Israelis hid in bunkers underground, and Bibi fled the country out of fear for his life. As a result of the Iranian attack, 9 buildings were destroyed, plus the Israeli equivalent of the Pentagon was hit. Additionally, Dimona nuclear research site as well as Israeli air bases were targeted by ballistic missiles. A noteworthy event surrounding Operation True Promise was the fact Israel fired missiles in an attempt to ward off the Iranian attack from the heart of Tel Aviv. The IDF Supreme Command Post, headquarters of the Israeli Defense Force, was placed among civilian buildings so that an attack on it would directly result in civilian deaths. This is a war of aggression no American wants any part of.
Emily is one of these Israelis who's going around doing propaganda tours on manufacturing consent for the United States to go to war with Iran on behalf of Israel. We can't make the same mistake that we did in Iraq.
If you take out Saddam, I guarantee you that it will have enormous positive reverberations on the region.
We should not go to war in Iran on behalf of Israel. If Israel wants to go to war with Iran, they should do it themselves without our military support, and that includes taxpayer dollars. Go do it on your own. Go ahead and enlist, baby girl. Go do your thing. But leave America out of it. Our men and women in our armed forces shouldn't die on behalf of your country, period.
But one Bibi would do everything in his power, just like Churchill before him, to drag America into. Iran did not exhaust its missile supplies. This attack was merely a trailer and preview for the major war to come.
This is a statement from Donald Trump, quote, "We have completed our very successful attack on the 3 nuclear sites in Iran," etc.
Congratulations, President Trump. Your bold decision to target Iran's nuclear facilities with the awesome and righteous might of the United States will change history.
On 21st June 2025, President Trump carried out military strikes against 3 nuclear sites within Iran that included Fordow, Natanz, and Esfahan, with Fordow being the primary target. Tomahawk cruise missiles were launched at nuclear facilities from a nuclear submarine. Additionally, multiple 30,000-pound bunker bombers were dropped on Fordow so as to eliminate it completely, with no follow-up attacks expected. But in retaliation to this provocation would be ruthlessly addressed from greater US military aggression. This military operation was meant to be similar to the murder of Soleimani, a one-and-done deal, a surgical strike meant to force Iran back to the negotiating table and bring about peace in the region through strength. But in reality, it was nothing more than psychological warfare, seeing as Fordow nuclear facility had all uranium-enriched centrifuges removed a day before the attack. Nor was Fordow destroyed or suffered extensive damage. This attack was anticipated, so the entrance tunnels were filled with earth to absorb blast impact, prevent deep penetration to sensitive infrastructure from bunker bombers and missiles. Fordow still stands, as well as Iran's ability to enrich weapons-grade uranium, which in itself is a failure to the purported root of the attack. The real purpose of this attack was due to Israel losing the war with Iran. Tel Aviv and Haifa were getting the Gaza treatment, with the Israelis turning against Bibi and the Israeli air defense weapon system depleting due to a barrage of never-ending Iranian missiles. And so Trump formulated a way of turning Iran's gaze away from bombing Israel in a misguided hope of conjuring a peace deal. But this attack will be the nail in Trump's presidency, seeing as the MAGA movement is broken in half, with the neocons on one side and the true America first on the other. As Trump was elected as the No More Wars candidate the man that would end wars overseas and put America first.
I had no wars. I'm the only president in 72 years. I didn't have any wars. They lied. Okay. They said there were weapons of mass destruction. There were none, and they knew there were none. There were no weapons of mass destruction.
But in reality, he has turned out to be no better than George Bush. As a result of this attack, Iran could close the Strait of Hormuz, which would cause fuel prices around the world to skyrocket, resulting in global hyperinflation. Or they could attack US military bases in the Middle East with assistance from the Houthis and Hezbollah, resulting in the deaths of thousands of Americans. That would lead to a full-scale global war, aka World War III.
What role in the Middle East again does Israel play in this?
Israel was created as the instrument to bring about the Battle of Armageddon and the fulfillment of prophecy, a war that would be so terrible, where nuclear weapons will be used, so that the American citizens and the other people in the world would get down on their knees and beg for no more war. And what is the answer to that? They're going to be told the only way we can guarantee no more war is if we destroy the sovereignty of nations and we come together as one humanity in a one world government.
Dark days await us all.